Welcome back. I still have in my studio Honorable Barrister Sergius Ogun, a governorship aspirant in the forthcoming election of Edo State under the Labour Party. Honorable, I was going to find out how come you were reasonably in the People's Democratic Party in your two-time in the National Assembly. Now you are found in the Labour Party. How do we help me reconcile that?
Well, yes, I was a very strong member of the PDP, and I served the PDP the 2 times I spent in the House, and I was one of the most vocal representative of PDP, supported PDP, fought for what PDP stood for, and all that. But when Peter Obi moved to the platform of the Labour Party, I am naturally a people's person. I believe in people, especially the poor, the less privileged people. And knowing where he's coming from and the money politics that played out in PDP that edged him out, I felt
sympathy for.
Yes, I just had sympathy for him, and I also felt with his antecedent, the record behind him, the man that went into office as a billionaire, served the people as a governor for 2 times, and we left a lot of money in the system, for his successor. And we'll tell you any day, it's not given to wasting money. So at that time, I felt he was the kind of person we needed, a man that is frugal, with state resources. So I naturally just, had endorsed him, even as he's sitting, maybe as a PDP member.
Didn't that amount to what you politicians call anti-party activity?
At that point, I didn't really care. For me, I cared more for the nation than for the party, the platform. So because most of the things we predicted are already playing out now. Whether it was Atiku or Tinubu, these guys are giving to profligacy of the past. But now we are borrowing money from China and smaller countries. So we cannot be spending that on private jets and on huge convoys and, remuneration for compensation for what is not. So we already knew this will happen. And we have been vindicated. Somebody like Obi could never have gone to COP 2030. Is it 20 years now or 38? COP 28 in Dubai with how many thousands of people? He would not. Obi will not be talking about new apartments in the villa or renovating an apartment in Lagos for a VP. So I just naturally, felt he was the person that we needed at that point. And then, of course, Labour, as you can see in the logo, and it is a family. And I'm a family person. I said that during my introduction. And then now you see the Labour people, they have 3 people there. You have a father, you have a child, and you have a mother. Yeah. And they don't call them dad, mom, and baby. To let you know that they are for the people, for the downtrodden, they say papa, mama, pikin. The ordinary people. So for me, those are the people we should be fighting for today. We should be a voice for those people today. We should work to make sure such people can send their children to school. Then they can get good health care. They should be able to have at least 3 square meals. These are things espoused in the 17 SDG goals. Yeah. And somebody like Peter Obi said he implemented largely the SDG goals. So for me, Labour became the natural place where I could ventilate, where I could, really espouse those things I believe in, So even though I endorsed Obi then and worked for him, if anybody wants to call that anti-party, I was a member of PDP. But taking those steps did not help me a whole lot. But even PDP as a
I was
party,
coming to that point.
and PDP as a party had their own issues. They had issues in the state and were not working. Some of us worked hard for the
If you
reconciliation.
had opportunity for a second time to make such decisions, with the benefit of hindsight, would you still have worked for B as it is right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I believed in it.
Okay.
Because even when a young man came to interview me a year before 2020, he had interviewed me that, look, if your party do not zone to the south, will you be unhappy? I said, yeah, I would be. I gave every reason why they should zone to the south. Journalists, people don't forget things. A year after the primaries, he came to me and said, we're going to discuss state of the affairs, and he brought the question, your party did zone to the south. Are you disappointed? I said, yes, that is why I'm obedient.
Wow.
And that now became the headline. It's just a sentence. That became the headline. We said so many things. So I was attending a program in Port Harcourt in the weekend. And then I was receiving tons of calls from everywhere. I didn't know the interview, took it on a weekday like that, but it was published on the weekend.
Okay.
So my leaders wanted me to go back and, refute that. I said, look, no, I can't. This is where I am today. That if there is no 2023, because one of my leaders actually said, look, we are preparing you for 2024 governorship of Edo State. You cannot be seen to be saying this. If you want to work for Obi, do that under the rug. I said, no, where we are today, that will have to be 2023 before 2024. If this country goes up in flames in 2023, there will be no 2024. So if this is how we feel today, some of us, and we can encourage the young ones to take that decision, why not? So from day one, it wasn't something I regretted, and I still don't regret it.
Now in Labour Party, before you just officially registered your intention to run a few weeks ago in Labour Party, there were also some big names in the party before you came in. What did you think? Did you think you were making the right step, politically speaking, that is?
I don't think among the aspirants, with all humility, any name there is bigger than my name.
There are big names there, Honorable.
Yeah. In politics, are they politicians? Name one that has contested election and won. I haven't seen any. So
you think that makes you stand taller?
Not necessarily. It's just a platform that had supported over a year now.
Yeah.
Because when I took that position to support Obi, June 2022, most of the aspirants now
were not.
They did speak out.
Some of them were not in the Labour Party.
Exactly.
That's the truth. I know about that.
Exactly. And they did not even speak up on why they think Obi was good enough. I said that beside that interview, there were also some television interviews where I said that publicly, and that was it. So when some of them say, okay, he's just coming to Labour Party, but I had supported that platform.
Yeah, it has cost you quite some.
Exactly. So, and like I just said, I have won elections. I've contested primary election, won, went in for a general election, I've won, so I know the terrain.
Or you actually look tall in the mist, right?
Thank you.
But in that mist, there's a mist. I don't know how you would go about demystifying that mist. Are you seeking some form of collaborations with some of them? In that list, we have names like Barrister Ken Imasuagbon, we have Dr. Dori Okoje, we have Ernest, quite a few of them, in that list, right? Is it, are you looking at doing what we would call in a different context, collabo, and trying to see if you can get a consensus? Is that a possibility?
We're actually working on that. And if you know me very well, I'm a very humble person. When people say you are humble, well, necessity is laid on me. I cannot, knowing where I'm coming from, I don't have any choice but to be humble. My pastor once said that.
Your pastor?
Yes, Pastor Tom American now. I worship in Christ Embassy.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
he was my pastor sometime in Benin and then later in Port Harcourt. So he once said those days in Benin that people say and a condition make crayfish bend. He says no, crayfish was
Meant to bend.
meant to bend. So for me, by my nature, I mean, judging from where I'm coming from such a humble background, I don't have any choice but to be humble.
Yeah.
So I relate with everybody. We actually have a platform right now where we are talking to ourselves.
Oh, beautiful.
And on the need for us to work together and prune down that long list. I think we have about 12 aspirants from Edo Central alone. And then some people amongst us took the initiative to say, look, let's work together and prune down this list to maybe 2 people. So we are working on that now, and we're trying to get the party leadership involved. I don't look down on anybody at all. I mean, for a politician, they say in our place, Azembio Yi at every election, you use witches and wizards and thieves and all. Yeah, because every vote counts. So that's it.
Honorable, I'm wondering, there's a desire to do so much, and you intend to, as governor of Edo State. But we live in, are you bothered? I'm concerned. Are you bothered about the fact that we are in an era where there is large, extent of positive or fund to do so much? In addition to that, I'd like you to, this is rather on a very light mode. It was the veteran journalist, writer, Ruben Abat, that wrote sometime after his experience at the Aso Rock as media assistant to the governor, President Jonathan, who wrote and said, spiritual whatever in Aso Rock, where he was saying that good people tend to get to power, seat of power, and they churn, that there's some force. He seemed to infer that there's some force in government house that make good people to turn. So would you like to take that together?
Okay, well, I think it's the prudent management of resources. No one ever has enough.
Okay.
Yeah, if you go to America now, they are the largest debtors. America, China, but if they're investing it in infrastructure that will in return bring more money, it's good. So people still clamor for more. So we might not have enough today in terms of resources, but it's the prudent utilization that will matter. Now, we are saying, let's take care of the basic things in the society. The big things are okay. You want to have a health hub, agricultural hub, education hub. It's all fine. It's wonderful. But we need that school in that rural community. That school, even in the metropolitan, that is functioning well. Same thing with the healthcare center. Excuse me. Right. The healthcare facility that should meet the basic needs of the people. So if you deploy the resources in a manner where it will best serve the needs of the people will be happy. People will be carried along. So is how you deploy the resources, not so much of the quantity that's available. Then talking about what Ruben Abati said, yeah, you see, it depends on the people. I went to the National Assembly. I didn't lose my head. From day one, I knew why I went there. I mean, I'm an adult. Okay. I knew why I went there, to represent the people. No one dime of the people went to my pocket, because I told them from day one, my plan is not to go to Abuja to begin to build houses. And I didn't do any of that.
You don't have a house in Abuja?
No, I don't.
You don't have a house in Abuja?
I do not have a house in Abuja. I rented an apartment in Abuja because that's not what took me there. And I work in the oil and gas industry. I mean, spent my holiday in Port Harcourt with my family. So if I finish my 8 years, what am I going to be doing in Abuja? Yeah. So that is why the third term and all that never appealed to me, because from day one I was going to spend 2 terms.
Okay.
And see, so talking about when people go into government house, they lose their focus and it's all superstition anyway. For me, I have conquered greed in my life. That is why I did not think about the third term, because there's nothing there. Yes, I could have done work for my people if I had gone for third term, but was that agreed upon when I went there? No. I could not have fought people not to do third term, and I will go there and I want to not do the third term. Yeah. I have in the 2018 primary, I was a delegate in the convention held in Port Harcourt. And we had dollars flying all over the place. But I think I was the only one that said, I'm not going to collect money from anybody. I will vote my conscience. It's on record.
Wow.
It's on record. The national chairman the state chairman is aware, because he openly asked, have you seen your money? I said, no, Mr. Chairman, I have said I'm not collecting money from anybody. And he called out his secretary to say, look, who collected Sergius' money? And they called the name of the individual who collected it supposedly on my behalf. They said, go and collect it. And some of my leaders had offered me, look, there's this money available to vote for so and so person. And I said, I am not collecting money from anybody. I accommodated a lot of people because I live in that city.
Yeah.
You know, paid from my pocket. I even had to resort to company guest houses to accommodate them because they didn't get accommodation. I could have said, well, let me recoup the money. Let me collect money from one person. I did not. Because I know people that collected money from more than 5 people, but they're going to vote for one person.
Wow.
And by so doing, they collected more than $10,000.
Do you see that happening now in your primaries that will be in February?
It can happen, but I do wish them well. Those are some of the things we are preaching against. So what we are saying is we don't need that. The party is going to elect somebody. The party now to elect somebody to stand, to fly the flag of the party, to win an election for them. And then the party members that will produce that person are trading with that ticket. And then you expect the person to go there tomorrow and work for you? I don't believe there should be too much money in politics, in winning elections. Because we keep saying our leaders are problems. No. It's how they emerge, the selection process.
Yeah.
So if people spend tons of billions just to emerge as a candidate of the party, and spend some more billions to win the election, when they get into office, what do you expect them to do? They have to pay back the money.
Like an investment.
Exactly. People invested in them, they have to pay back. And then when they are doing that, they can be awarding road contracts and you are excited about it. But if you take the pains to check for how much they are awarding those projects, you will know they are ripping off the state. So if we can, it's an advocacy, it's not something one person can do in one day. If we can get our people to understand that, look, you are sending this gentleman, this lady on errand, you ought to support the person if you believe in the person based on that antecedent or where the person is coming from, what the person has said. Invest in that person to go and represent you. Not the other way around, that is going to represent us, is going to steal our money. So let's take our own now. Then when the person gets there and is not able to perform, and you are angry. So that's it for me. I don't believe that anybody, if you know the purpose, if you have made up your mind to go and serve the people, there will be no distractions. So this issue of people being attacked or people losing their mind or losing focus won't be there. You cannot go there as an adult and you say you get there and then you are forgotten why you went there. Which means in the first case, you never went there to serve the people.
Wow. I have been talking with Honorable Barrister Sergius Ogun from the Eastern Southeast local government of Edo State, an aspirant of an aspirant from the or one of the aspirants rather from the Labour Party. As we custom, sir, you want to speak with your Edo people?
Oh yeah, well, Senogwe, like we say, and Senogwe, as also say in Benin. I want to wish our people a happy new year. from our traditional institution, about Tokwe, then our NEJs, the political stakeholders back home in Edo State, across party lines, diaspora, generally all Edo people. I wish you a happy new year. And I strongly believe that we can come together to build the Edo of our dreams. God bless you all.
What would be your parting shot to the electorate or so?
Well, I would say that we should not lose hope in this country. I think the best direction to go, like Bill, former president of America, Bill Clinton, said when he visited Nigeria some time back, that if we get democracy right, there might be some missteps, but we will be there. It's not a journey of one day. It's not a sprint, but a marathon that we will get there. So my advice is that times are hard, but let's all work together and see the common good in our nation. And someday we will get it right. They shouldn't lose hope in politicians. There are still good people like us out there ready to serve as in serve from the innermost part of us. And we will get it right. We will get there someday.
We will get it right. Is it about looks like the appropriate place to hang the curtain, draw the curtain for today. I have been talking to an Edo citizen. Honorable, I must say that you are a proud citizen of Edo State. I wish you all the very best and look forward to you emerging victorious at this initial level of primaries. And then I would then hope that you won't be too busy to be able to afford me an opportunity for a follow-up discussion like this.
Is a promise made. I will come back.
Thank you. Yes. Do have a safe flight as you go back. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Send away. That's what we say. Happy New Year.